Chapter 91. Wailing. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. After a period of practice, Zhong Yingxue was holding an adjustable wrench in her hands at this moment. She adjusted the angle and skillfully turned at the corner. The speed of the car gradually increased. However, her expression became more and more nervous, and her beautiful eyes stared at the road. She did not dare to be distracted for a moment. At the side, Jiang Nan held the steering wheel that she had broken off and guided her carefully. Xia Yao secretly took out her phone and secretly took photos in the back row. She then let out a mischievous laugh. Adjustable wrench to drive. This was a rare scene. Come, it's time for us to increase our speed. Third gear. Zhong Yingxue hurriedly nodded, okay. Okay. Her expression was tense. Her eyes never left the road. Step on the clutch. Gear change. Why can't I touch the gear lever? Shouldn't I go a little further to the right? After a wave of groping, she finally touched the gear lever. Jiang Nan. He couldn't help but look down at Zhong Yingxue's small hand. His face was full of horror. Hey! 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 The gear lever was on the left side of your hand. You were touching my treasure. She was touching his head. Zhong Yingxue was also puzzled. Why did it feel a little wrong? Her eyes did not dare to leave the road at all. She also didn't bother to look at it. Never mind. Zhong Yingxue's hand gripped the rod tightly. Change gear. Jiang Nan. With Zhong Yingxue's actions, Jiang Nan let out a soul-stirring scream. In the back row, Xia Yao stared with her eyes wide open and was dumbfounded. Wow! Shue. Why was your hand holding there? The one you grabbed wasn't the gear lever. It was Jiang Nan's. Aya. Hearing Jiang Nan scream so miserably, Zhong Yingxue increased her hand strength even more because of nervousness. This won't be broken too, right? Woo. You can't laugh. You absolutely can't laugh out loud. I'm a professional. I definitely won't laugh in such a situation. Unless I can't help it. Xia Yao endured her trembling body and looked at Jiang Nan with pity. Xiao Nan. What's wrong? Jiang Nan resisted, not daring to move. No, nothing. In fact, his heart had already exploded. Sister Shui. You should let go after changing gear. Don't keep holding it. This makes me in a difficult spot. At this moment, Zhong Yingxue was still holding the gear lever, unwilling to let go. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to touch it next time. As time went on, Zhong Yingxue was also a little confused. Why was the gear lever getting harder and harder? It was time for fourth gear. Hold the head. Change gear. Jiang Nan blushed and bit his lower lip. He covers his face with her hand. He then held back his voice. Can't take it. Can't take it. Xia Yao. Zhong Yingxue was even more confused. Why was the car speed did not increase? Try it at fifth gear. Hold the head. Change gear. Jiang Nan. At this moment, Jiang Nan's body was tense. The steering wheel in his arms was about to be crushed because of his grip. Sister. Hurry up and let go. It was too exciting. I can't hold it. Zhong Yingxue tilted her head and asked, why didn't it speed up? Is the car broken? Xia Yao finally couldn't take it anymore. Ha. Shue. Look down and see what you are grabbing. Zhong Yingxue subconsciously looked at her right hand. Wasn't she holding the gear lever? But it was clearly Jiang Nan's. Her face instantly turned deep red. Her small hand withdrew as if she had been electrocuted. Ah, how did I? Xiao Nan. I'm sorry. Does it hurt? She was so shy. She thought she was holding the gear lever. And she even holds it for a long time. Zhou Yingxue wished she could find a hole to hide in. Jiang Nan heaved a long sigh of relief. If Zhou Yingxue were to change gear again, it would be over. It's fine. It should still be usable. Xia Yao. Still usable. Do you need to be so straightforward? She was still here. Zhou Yingxue. Just as Xia Yao was about to ridicule Jiang Nan's expression became frightened. Sister Xue. What are you holding in your hand? The two of them immediately focused their gazes on Zhou Yingxue. It was none other than the adjustable wrench. She had actually taken it off in the steering column. At this moment, the car was still speeding up. The three of them looked at the road in horror. The car headed straight for the small forest in the park. Two screams rang out as it crashed into a tree. The headlights of the Mercedes-Benz were no joke. It was as bright as day. Instantly, the entire forest lit up. Then, Jiang Nan saw a pair of men and women in the bushes. Jiang Nan was not the only one who was stunned. Even Zhou Yingxue and Xia Yao were stunned. My God! How did this happen? No way! Zhou Yingxue, rogue! How can you be in such a place? She covered her eyes in embarrassment. On the other hand, Xia Yao was excited and stretched her head directly from the back row. Where? Let me see. Amazing. Amazing. Jiang Nan was also stunned for a moment. Something was wrong. This man's clothes were a little familiar. A shiny bald head. Wasn't this Zheng Wei? Small forest. Was it exciting? Zheng Wei. He almost exploded on the spot. He had been scared witless in this small forest. There were still many mosquitoes. In such a short time, his butt had been bitten many times. He had already hidden deep enough. Who knew that with a loud noise, a Mercedes-Benz had directly driven into the woods? When the headlight shone, it could be said that there was nothing left to hide. He then trembled. He was directly scared out of his wits. Why was he so unlucky? Jiang Hong was also about to go crazy. She quickly hid behind the tree. Zheng Wei. I will kill you later. You damned bastard. Zheng Wei was about to cry. That was something he never expected. From Zheng Wei's resentment points plus 1,000. Jiang Nan coughed lightly twice. This can't continue like this. So, he got out of the car. Bro, how are you doing tonight? Zheng Wei saw that it was Jiang Nan. His face turned black. Damn it. Could it be such a coincidence? Did your car crash into the woods in the middle of the night? Zheng Wei squeezed out a smile that was uglier than crying. Good evening. I'm taking a walk. I'm going for a walk. I'm admiring the moonlight. It was already so late at night, how come you were still watching the moon? What an awkward chat. Jiang Nan really couldn't take it anymore. He let Zhou Yingxue and Xia Yao get off the car and put the car into the alternate dimension. Then they hurry up and leave the little forest. Xia Yao kept looking back, but Jiang Nan turned her head away. Why are you still looking? What's there to see? Go. Zheng Wei. Was there anything in this world that was more awkward than this? Zheng Wei felt pitiful. At this moment, he only wanted to curse at the sky. Motherf***. while Jiang Nan and the other two were on their way home. Jiang Nan, I think. It's better if you don't learn how to drive. Zhou Yingxue blushed, I don't want to learn anymore. She didn't want to learn it for the rest of her life. Xia Yao, Xiao Nan. Are they not afraid of mosquitoes? Jiang Nan's face darkened, I also want to know. Chapter 92. Heart, Pounding Popping Candy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Nan had never thought of this. Zheng Wei had this kind of hobby. Was he not worried about mosquitoes? Little did he know that Zheng Wei had no other choice. Because it was Valentine's Day, the hotels were all full. He really doesn't want to do it in the woods either. But there was no place. Even when they got home, Zheng Wei's resentment points were still refreshing on the list. A row of 1,000 points had been spawned. He had contributed 10 consecutive draw points of resentment toward Jiang Nan. Jiang Nan was thinking. He wondered what kind of brutal beating Zheng Wei had experienced after he left. He prepared the bathwater for Zhou Yingxue and Xia Yao when he got home. Jiang Nan sat on the sofa in the living room and began his lottery draw. 500,000 resentment points. System, start it. 10 consecutive lottery draws begin. Thank you for your patronage. Consolation prize, a vitality ginseng. 2 times of 10 consecutive lottery draws. He got 2 golden age beauty pill and 18 vitality ginseng. Jiang Nan had a bitter face. This system really wasted his expectation. Could it be that he had wasted his efforts again? Why golden age beauty pill? Am I not beautiful enough? Third 10 consecutive lottery draws. Congratulations on winning. A packet of heart. Pounding popping candy. Thank you for your patronage. Consolation prize, a vitality ginseng. Jiang Nan was stunned. Finally, a new prize was drawn. And it was not a consolation prize, but a proper prize without any side effects. Jiang Nan was overjoyed. Heart. Pounding, why was it heart. Pounding? What the naming hell was this half-baked system have? Was it a typo? But he still couldn't hold back his excitement. He hurriedly opened the system inventory to check the function. Heart. Pounding popping candy. Effect. Increase cultivation speed by 10 times within 24 hours, and increase personal charm during this period. You will be loved by everyone like a blooming flower. The love of my life, give me fire. Jiang Nan. What? Was this thing that great? Just the increase in cultivation speed in 24 hours was already very abnormal. It can also increase charm points. This thing. It was simply a divine tool for picking up girls. At the end of the line, it even used English. Give me fire. How cool was this system? Jiang Nan swallowed his saliva and couldn't help but want to try it. On the other side, Zhou Yingxue and Xia Yao had just finished showering. Their little face was flushed red. Jiang Nan's expression became serious, come on. I have something to tell you. Zhou Yingxue and Xia Yao looked at each other stunned. It was rare to see Jiang Nan so serious. They couldn't help but sit opposite Jiang Nan. Zhou Yingxue had yet to dry her hair. Xia Yao chuckled, today is Valentine's Day. You won't take the opportunity to confess to me, will you? You must not. I will not agree. Jiang Nan rolled his eyes, don't worry. How can I confess to you? After all, we are separated by races. How can humans and big-tailed wolves? From Xia Yao's resentment points plus 1,000. Cough cough. Let go of me. I can't breathe. Zhou Yingxue, you are naughty. Xiao Yao. Teach him a good lesson. Got it. Jiang Nan. Were you still my sister? Stop. 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 I have a gift for you. Jiang Nan begged for mercy. Xia Yao's eyes lit up when she heard this, gift. I like gifts the most. Is it a big white rabbit milk candy? Where are you hiding it? I will look for it. Xia Yao searched around with her small hands and even grabbed Jiang Nan's ear to look. F***ck. How can he hide it in his ears? Do you think I'm Sun Wukong? Zhou Ningxue was also curious. Here. Here you are. Jiang Nan took out 2 beautifully packaged boxes. Zhou Ningxue got a small one, while Xia Yao got was a bigger one. Xia Yao grabbed the big gift box and chuckled, you like me so much. Why did you give me such a big one? Jiang Nan coughed twice and was ready to run away at any time. You will know when you open it. The 2 of them opened it. Each box contains a big white rabbit candy. There was also a red fruit that was emitting spiritual light. Both of them were stunned for a moment. They knew the Golden Age beauty pill, but the other one. Zhou Ningxue, this red fruit is. Xia Yao chuckled, won't you know once you eat it? She had already eaten Golden Age beauty pill and then stuffed the red fruit into her mouth. Well. It doesn't taste good. Zhou Ningxue also ate it in small mouthfuls. These 2 red fruits were none other than spirit cleansing fruit, whom Jiang Nan had exchanged for his last 200,000 resentment points. Not long after. Xia Yao was shocked and looked at her body in disbelief. My talent seems to have increased. The speed of absorbing spiritual energy is even faster. Zhou Ningxue was also stunned, I can feel it too. This fruit can increase innate talent. Their gazes turned into shock. In the 20 years since the spiritual energy had been restored, they had never heard of any divine object that could increase innate talent. It was as if it had been determined from birth. But this fruit had done it. Originally, Xia Yao's talent was only A+. Now, she was at least S+ level, comparable to Zhou Ningxue from before. And, Zhou Ningxue's S+ level talent had increased once again. S+ isn't the limit. A divine object with such a function can't be measured by money. How did Jiang Nan get such precious fruit? No matter if it's the red fruit, white rabbit candy, or vigorous potion. Almost all of them could be called miracles. Jiang Nan smiled brightly and said, remember to keep it a secret. Don't tell anyone else. Zhou Ningxue and Xia Yao had solemn expressions on their faces. Why would they say it? It would only bring trouble to Jiang Nan. Jiang Nan gave these things to them without any reservation. This meant that they had truly become a big family. This kind of trust was the most touching part. As for why Jiang Nan had these. If Jiang Nan didn't say it, they wouldn't ask. Some things need to be hidden in the heart. Xia Yao had just woken up from the joy of improving her aptitude. She could not help but find that there was a layer under her gift box. Xia Yao, oh. Another. What is this? She directly took it out. The air froze. It was a blue ice silk triangle underwear. Most importantly, there was a small zipper on the back part. She flips down again. Strawberry with zipper. Blue and white with zipper. Black ribbon with zipper. There were a total of 10 underwear with different styles. The only thing in common was that all of them have zippers in the back. Xia Yao's face turned red in an instant. She recalled the incident where her hot pants had been ripped open by her tail during the day. Her beautiful eyes were filled with killing intent. Her little tiger's teeth swelled. She was like an evil tiger pouncing on its prey, ready to kill. Ah! Smelly Jiang Nan. I'll kill you. Jiang Nan teleported away. He was already prepared. Hey, hey, hey. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, okay? I'm doing this for your own good. Next time you transform, you can pull the zipper open, and your tail can be released. You don't have to wear hot pants. Hey! Why don't you appreciate it? This is a Hulk underpants. It's very easy to wear. It's very valuable. Zhou Ningxue looked at Jiang Nan, who was running for his life in the room while being chased by Xia Yao. She couldn't help but laugh. She glanced at the pile of cool underwear on the table and blushed. Xiao Nan actually likes this kind of underwear. Chapter 93. That was too intense. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At night, Jiang Nan returned to his room. He looked at himself in front of the mirror. He could not help but fall into deep thought. Although both of his eyes were green. But it still didn't affect his handsome and charming face. It was quite symmetrical. It was great, however, he still took out a piece of Golden Age beauty pill and ate it. Make amends. After all, no one would think that he was too handsome. After doing all of this, Jiang Nan could not help but feel excited. In the end, he still took out the heart-pounding popping candy. In the system's introduction, it had a powerful function. Moreover, it was a rare and proper prize. Spirit cleansing fruit and Golden Age beauty pill were examples. Then Jiang Nan looked at the heart-pounding candy on the system storage and was dumbfounded. A packet of white powdery objects. An AF * king straw. F * CK. What kind of bullshit logo was this? Are you sure it's not something strange? Jiang Nan gritted his teeth. Don't care so much. He opened the packaging and took a puff. Then, he fiercely sucks. A pack of heart-pounding popping candy was emptied into his mouth. Hey. So sweet that ... However, Jiang Nan did not feel comfortable for long. Then. There was a loud bang. It directly exploded in Jiang Nan's mouth. At this time, he was stunned. His brain was buzzing. He was lying on the bed like a mummy. His face was full of fear. F * CK. What the hell is this? Is it really a popping candy? Isn't it a C4 bomb or something? Why was it so strong? Before Jiang Nan could recover from his shock, his mouth began to explode like a storm. Bang! 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 Then it was like putting a 20,000 whip in his mouth. It was as intense as kicking and whipping. His mouth was fried. This time, Jiang Nan finally knew why he was called heart-pounding popping candy. Wasn't this 2F * king bang? Ow. In the end, he couldn't hold it in and shouted out. But he only heard a noise coming from his mouth. Bang! 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 That was intense. Even a Gatling gun didn't have such terrifying firepower. Jiang Nan was so scared that he quickly shut his mouth. His body twisted wildly on the bed and trembled. His hands gripped the sheets tightly as tears of regret flowed down from the corners of his eyes. He should not have believed the system's evil. Not only was his mouth numb, but his entire body was also numb. Jiang Nan could only endure the violent explosions. However, his body was also undergoing a shocking transformation. The surrounding spiritual energy rushed towards Jiang Nan at speed 10 times faster than before. It forcefully pushed his cultivation from a 3-star bronze rank to a 4-star bronze rank. At this time, in Xia Yao's room on the second floor. She was standing beside the bed, her body clean and naked. There was 10 cool underwear on the bed, and Xia Yao couldn't help but blush. I'm just trying. It's nothing. After all, it's Xiao Nan's token of appreciation. She picked out the blue ice silk underwear and secretly put it on as she spoke. She lowered her head to look at herself with a face full of satisfaction. She felt very beautiful. Then, she quickly turned around and looked at the zipper. She fumbled around behind her and found the zipper, then, she slowly pulled it open. Xia Yao's face became even redder. She didn't know why, but she just felt that it was very shameful. She immediately turned into a half-beast form. Under the moonlight, there were wolf ears on her head and a furry silver tail behind her butt. It was simply beautiful. At this moment, there was a bang sound downstairs. It was like the sound of a machine gun firing. Or was it the sound of a tractor engine? Xia Yao was so scared that she quickly retracted her ears and tail. Her face was full of doubt. What was the situation? She quickly dressed and pushed open the door. Zhou Yingxue also came out. The two of them looked at each other in confusion. They couldn't help but come to Jiang Nan's room together. The moment they opened the door, the two of them were stunned. They saw that Jiang Nan's eyes were empty as if he had lost his soul. There were tears in the corners of his eyes and a faint sorrow on his face. His entire body was covered in sweat, and he was still twitching on the bed at this moment. The moment they saw Jiang Nan's side profile, both Zhou Yingxue and Xia Yao felt their hearts beating faster. The more they looked at it, the more pleasing it became. They liked it no matter how they looked at it. Zhou Yingxue said worriedly, "Xiao Nan. Why are you crying? Xia Yao, why are you crying so sadly? Did you wet your blanket?" Jiang Nan. He was sweating all right. Now, the heart-pounding popping candy's strength had just passed. That was 2F** King intense. Xia Yao sat by the bed and gently wiped away Jiang Nan's tears. She then said with a distressed face, "Don't cry. I'm really sorry. Did you cry because I bullied you? I won't hit you again. I won't bite you anymore, okay?" Zhou Yingxue held Jiang Nan in her arms and patted Jiang Nan on the back. "Xiao Nan. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I love you." Jiang Nan. That was not right. The way Zhou Yingxue looked at him was too gentle. She was simply emitting a maternal radiance. Even the wolf extinction had become so gentle. Her soft voice was so sweet, okay. Was it because of the heart-pounding popping candy? His charm increased. This was too great. It even made Jiang Nan feel a sense of guilt in his heart. I actually got a strange disease. I can't sleep at night. Only by kissing can I fall asleep. Win an inch, want a foot. Guilt or something, Jiang Nan likes it the most. Zhou Yingxue blushed, "No. No, but I can give you a hug." Xia Yao glared at him, "Bah. I won't let him hug me. Go to sleep." She held Zhou Yingxue's small hand as she spoke and walked out the door. Jiang Nan looked at Xia Yao's back and couldn't help but be stunned. Blue ice silk. Did she change it just like that? Humph. Her mouth said she didn't like it. Her body was still very honest. But when he looked at it, Jiang Nan's body suddenly froze. Xia. Sister Xia Yao. What? You forget to pull the zipper up. Xia Yao's face instantly turned red with blood. I forget to pull the zipper up just now. She even walked around Jiang Nan's room. She was so scared that she hurriedly went out and leaned against the wall, not daring to move. Zhou Yingxue was stunned. Xiao Yao, what zipper did not pull? Xia Yao shook her head like a rattle-drum, and with a guilty look on her face, she said, "No, nothing. By the way, Xue. Don't you think that Xiao Nan looks particularly pleasing to the eye tonight? For a moment, I feel that he is my dish." Zhou Yingxue blushed and said, "Yes. The kind that makes my heart beat faster. It's so strange. Xiao Yao. Why aren't you going back to your room? Xia Yao stuck close to the wall and fumbled around behind her, but she could not find the zipper. You go first. I'll be right there. Why couldn't she find the zipper? She was about to go crazy. All right. In the room. Jiang Nan, who was using space wormhole to eavesdrop, laughed secretly. It seemed that heart-pounding popping candy could indeed make others fall for him. However, there was a limit to the effect. It can't change a person's subconscious. Not to mention this, just the speed of 10 times the absorption of spiritual energy was already very abnormal. If he could always supply it, wouldn't his realm rise like a rocket? It was just that it was 2F** king intense. Bang! 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 It seemed that he would earn more resentment points. In the following days, Jiang Nan and the two great beauties did multi-person sports during the day and taught them close combat. At night, he took Wu Liang to set up a stall. After closing the stall, he went to Wu Liang's secret base to teach him how to use the saber and the shield. He had a good harvest every day. Plus the 7 kadi of spiritual bead in Jiang Nan's hands. It was enough to use for the summer vacation. There was no need to suffer in spirit ruin, the summer vacation was fulfilling. That night while Jiang Nan was playing with his phone, he suddenly received a friend request. A friend request from Luo Tianhong. The net name was her real name, and even her profile picture was her identification photo. The Luo Tianhong in the photo seemed a little immature, and he had short hair. It was simply exploding. Friend request. Humph. Jiang Nan directly rejected it. As a man, he had to be a little more unyielding. Do you think you can add my WeChat just because you say so? He was a man that 900 million girls would never get. But the next moment, Jiang Nan's phone suddenly rang. Hello. Do you want to die? Hurry up and agree. Jiang Nan shuddered as he recalled the scene of Bobcat smashing the earth bare. He quickly agreed to her friend request. Continue to be unyielding. It was more important to save your life. Chapter 94. The tragedy caused by an emoji. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When he accepted the friend request, Bobcat immediately sent a message. Luo Tianhong, come to Jiang City's military base tomorrow to complete the rookie training. I will send someone to pick you up. Jiang Nan. Rookie training. I won't go. Wasn't it good to set up a stall to earn money every day? Wasn't it good to accompany the two great beauties every day in multi-person sports? Besides, the transfer certificate, the space system spirit beads, and the spiritual bead brought back from Heaven Lake were all in his hand. There was no reason to go anymore. What can Night Legion Army do to me? Nan Shen, I won't go. There was no way. As a man. This was how strong-willed he was. Luo Tianhong, are you sure? Nan Shen, I won't go. Epsilon. Chapter 95. Watermelon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Rui's little face was red. Looking at her wet hands that Jiang Nan licked, she felt that she was not clean anymore. This was the first time she had encountered something like this. Do you have to be so shameless? Well, the sleeping Jiang Nan was so handsome. By the time Jiang Nan woke up, it was already the morning of the next day. He couldn't help but feel a little confused. There was a neat Night Legion Army outfit on the bed. Military officer certificate, as well as all the necessary items. Jiang Nan curled his lips. In the end, he accepted the fact that he had been kidnapped for training. He could not help but lick his lips. Should I say or not? Xiao Rui's hand is a little salty. Jiang Nan, who had changed into a military uniform, came outside. The sunlight was a little glaring, and the chirping of cicadas and the sound of gunshots mixed together. At this moment, 20 Dark Legion newcomers were training to shoot. Su Rui was also among them. Her face was flushed red from the sun, and she was trying very hard to aim. And Ning and Chen Chen were teaching the newcomers in training. A group of veterans surrounded them as if they were looking at a monkey while watching the rookie training. A muscular white-bearded instructor shouted. "What's wrong? Are those 2 holes on your nose for breathing? I can aim better than you with my nose. Under gold rank. Hot weapons are still the fastest and most effective weapons to defeat enemies. This is the Night Legion Army. No matter which unit you are transferred from or are the best in your former unit. Here. You are fucking trash. Continue to practice." Jiang Nan yawned and looked at this scene with interest. Jiang Nan's appearance instantly attracted everyone's attention. Dressed in Night Legion Army's clothes, his spine was straight, the sunshine was refreshing, and his appearance was even more impressive. Su Rui's face was slightly red, and she remembered her hand that Jiang Nan had licked for 3 minutes. With the trembling of her hand, she went off the target. The group of veterans instantly became spirited. F***ck Nan Shen. Did the captain really catch Nan Shen? Haha. I participated in yesterday's operation. This kid was sleeping soundly and was forcefully kidnapped by our captain. It's awesome. Hey. Do you still remember when Nan Shen and our captain came out of Heaven Lake Spirit Ruins wearing a couple outfits? There's such a thing. The moment Jiang Nan appeared, the veterans in the field began a fierce discussion. The newcomers were stunned. What was going on? He was called Nan Shen by these veterans. And he was also a newcomer who had just arrived at the base. The instructor called out, "Kid, come over here and participate in the training." Jiang Nan smiled brightly, "I won't participate. I don't have much to practice with this stuff." As soon as this was said, the entire place fell silent. No one dared to disobey the instructor's orders in this military base. The instructor's face instantly turned cold. "Do you think you are competent?" N. Just so. It should be enough. Chen Chen saw that the instructor's expression wasn't right and hurriedly said, "Instructor Chen. I also think that Jiang Nan doesn't need to participate." And Ning nodded, "He has already mastered the basics of shooting." But in her mind, she said, it was more than just the basics. Jiang Nan's marksmanship was simply heaven-defying, alright. In the safety zone back then. That Mozambique firing method could be said to be a textbook. Chen Li was also stunned. And Ning and Chen Chen were soldiers that he had personally brought out. The guarantee of the 2 of them was quite significant. This kid looked young. How could he obtain the recognition of 2 people? Shooting foundation. Had he touched a gun before? Since the 2 of you think he can do it, then so be it. Just do whatever you want. Jiang Nan grinned and shot a glance at Ning, alright. Just like that, he arrived in the middle of those veterans. Then he smirks evilly. This was a golden opportunity. He then opened his alternate dimension. He took out 3 parasols, and a beach chair fell to the ground. Another big table was moved out. It was filled with watermelons and iced coke. Come. It's so hot. Brothers, eat some watermelons to cool down. The eyes of these veterans were all wide open. Was this even possible? Even the watermelons were brought in. Although you were a space-type ability user. But do you need to be like this? What kind of strange things was in your alternate dimension? Awesome, I'll follow you in the future. I heard that summer is more suitable for watermelons. It's so **king sweet. It's so comfortable. The veterans were holding watermelons in their hands and eating happily. They watched the rookie training again. All of them had dry mouths and oily under the sun. Work hard. Jiang Nan even ran to Chen Li, the instructor, and Ning gave them a piece. Chen-Li, oh. Young man, you know something. Chen had a face full of anticipation and said, Nan Shen. Where is mine? Jiang Nan curled his lips, don't you listen to Bobcat. Tie me up. You still want to eat watermelon. Eat your ass. Chen. F***ck. You still hold grudges. From Chen's resentment value plus 666. The fragrance of watermelons wafted in the air. Jiang Nan held a watermelon in one hand and an iced cola in the other, swaying around them. A group of rookies. They were about to explode. Don't be so cheap. If you want to eat it, you can eat it by the side, okay? Why do you have to hang around in front of us? They could feel the malice coming from this summer. And from Jiang Nan's tons of critical hits. From Wang Tai's resentment points plus 1,000. From Lu Yuting's resentment points plus 1,000. From Su Rui's resentment points plus 111. Chen-Li, don't be distracted. Focus. The rookies. We don't want to either. Speaking of which, instructor, could you lecture us when you swallow the watermelon in your mouth? They all spurted out. Jiang Nan laughed happily at the crazily refreshing list of resentment points. Didn't the resentment points come? Aya. Why is it so sweet? Newbies. A young man with a buzz cut finally couldn't take it anymore and stood up. I don't accept this. Why can he not train? We are both newcomers. I have been in the army for 3 consecutive years. I don't believe that he is stronger than me. Is it possible that as long as we are stronger than him, we don't have to train? Many newcomers echoed, yes. How old is he? What foundation can he have? There's some bullshit behind the scenes, right? I don't accept it either. Let's compete. Jiang Nan's watermelon directly caused everyone to be furious. The veterans all became spirited and waited to watch a good show. Jiang Nan blinked, you don't agree. If you disagree, then so be it. Then, he lay down on the beach chair and ate the watermelon. Veterans. Wang Tai glared at him, F***ck. God damn it. When we report you to the leader. Normally, you have to fight back. Make a move. In the end, you went to eat watermelon. He really treated himself as a bystander. From Wang Tai's resentment points plus 1,000. He had a feeling that he had punched cotton. Chen-Li smiled, come and try. Don't just say you don't want to practice. I also want to see what kind of ability the person Bobcat personally found has. Jiang Nan's face turned black. Was he found? He was cheated and then tied up. Chapter 96. New record. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Nan had no choice but to get up. He smiled brightly at Wang Tai and said, if I'm stronger than you, how about cleaning my bed and fetching water for me during the entire training period? Wang Tai said angrily, why can't I? What if I'm stronger than you? Jiang Nan, this watermelon is yours. Okay. Why did he feel that something was wrong? The people nearby couldn't hold back their laughter. Su Rui's face was red, but she didn't dare to laugh. Jiang Nan was too bad. Ning and Chen looked at each other helplessly. Wang Tai was definitely going to suffer a loss. Jiang Nan walked forward. There were a bunch of gun parts on the table. Oh. Type 92 handgun. At this moment, Jiang Nan's expression became serious. The moment he picked up the gun parts, it was as if he had practiced it countless times in his mind. He picks up the gun body, snaps in the barrel, presses the spring. The assembling process was so fast that it was almost impossible to see Jiang Nan's finger movements. Load the clip, turn the safety. No one saw his loading action. He raised the gun and fired. The result. Bang. From the beginning to the first gunshot, it only took 7 seconds. The speed was so fast that it stunned everyone. And this gunshot stunned everyone. Wang Tai was dumbfounded. It's not loaded. How can it be fired? What's going on? Isn't it too fast? I couldn't even see it clearly. Su Rui covered her mouth, and her face was full of shock. At this moment, even Instructor Chen Li's expression changed. If you were not a gun veteran, you would never be able to practice such fast movements. Jiang Nan was only 18. Did he start practicing from his mother's womb? The veterans were also stunned for a while. Damn. Press chamber assembly. What the F*** CK, 7. Second loading assembly. After being single for 18 years, Nan Shen must have used it all to train his hand speed. TSK, TSK, TSK. He didn't shoot the pistol for nothing after so many years. Jiang Nan. Instructor Chen Li looked at the stunned rookies and could not help but ask, do you know why he can shoot without loading the chamber? This is a press chamber assembly. When assembling the gun body, a bullet has already been pressed into it. And it was assembled according to the structure of the gun after being loaded. It is many times more complicated than normal assembling. But the benefits are obvious. It can save a lot of time. Wang Tai's expression was ugly, and the rookies were also stunned. Press chamber. They had never heard of this before. How could Jiang Nan be so skilled? Was he really a newcomer? But if not, how could there be an 18-year-old veteran? He was probably the youngest among all of the Night Legion army at his age. Wang Tai said with a red face, what's so good about being loaded? It's hard to be accurate. Look. Where did he hit? Haha. 7 rings. Do I see things? 7 rings. You can hit it even with your eyes closed, right? Chen Li's face darkened. He had praised Jiang Nan for nothing. 7 rings. Are you King kidding me? Jiang Nan rolled his eyes, watch and talk less, don't force me. Bang. 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 Jiang Nan continued to shoot with his gun. 8 shots were fired in a row, clearing the magazine. The gun hit the bullseye. It was so accurate that it left a dent on the bullseye of the white steel target. Everyone was dumbfounded. Was there a need to be so accurate that even a tiny bit of it was not crooked? Jiang Nan, domestic Type 92 handgun, 9mm caliber. 8 rounds of ammunition capacity, 9 rounds if pressed chamber. Lead-cord copper. Skinned bullets can be used on humans. Can use armor. Piercing steel core bullets. Its crosshair is skewed about 1.5 degrees. As he spoke, he began to assemble the Type .95 assault rifle. Everyone looked at Jiang Nan in shock. The reason why the first shot was in 7 rings was that it was crooked. What's even more terrifying was that Jiang Nan shot under the premise that the sight was crooked. The remaining 8 shots hit the bullseye. Did he even calculate how many degrees was the crosshair tilted? Was this still a human can do? On the other side, Jiang Nan had already assembled the Type .95 assault rifle. Bang! 1 shot, 3rd rings. Bang! 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 Then 10 shots hit the bullseye. Then it turned into fully automatic continuous shots. 20 shots, all hit the bullseye. Continuously hit a steel target, high temperature and high pressure directly penetrate the white steel target. What was even more terrifying was that every bullet Jiang Nan fired went through the center of the bullet hole. Right on the spot. Jiang Nan, Type 95 assault rifle, caliber 5.8 mm. The bullet uses 5.56 mm, pressed the chamber for an extra round. The capacity of the ammunition is 30 rounds. The sight is not biased, but the barrel rifling is seriously worn, and the initial velocity of the bullet is not enough. It is time to change it. Chen-Li. The veteran's eyes almost popped out. A single shot was already impressive enough. You hit the target 20 times in a row. What about the recoil? Every time an assault rifle fired, the recoil was around 1.5 kilograms. Not to mention continuous firing. Has Jiang Nan completely suppressed it? This could be said to be a divine skill. In reality, it was far from as simple as in a game. Wang Tai's brain was already buzzing. The rookies looked at Jiang Nan with admiration. Chen Chen and Ning were even more dumbfounded. They realized that they had underestimated Jiang Nan. And at this moment, Jiang Nan's eyes lit up. Barrett Heavy Artillery. You have this thing here. As he spoke, he couldn't help but rub his hands together. The assembly was completed in the time it took to speak. What shocked Chen-Li was that Jiang Nan didn't install a gun stand. Instead, he took a step forward and aimed with his gun using his shoulder to support the butt of the gun as he pulled the bolt and loaded it. Then there was a loud bang. It was deafening. Flames shot out from the gun muzzle, even raising a cloud of dust. The recoil was extremely great. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been called heavy artillery. Meanwhile, Jiang Nan's muscles were stretched tight. His upper body was as firm as a rock, and he actually didn't move at all. He immediately fired a second shot. Everyone hurriedly took out their binoculars to look. In the mountains, there was a fruit tree full of green fruits. About 3 seconds after Jiang Nan fired the gun, a green fruit fell to the ground. The bullet actually hit the handle of the fruit. After 10 rounds, 10 green fruits were missing from the tree. The green fruits were complete, and the broken pieces were the handles of the fruit. The veterans forgot to eat their watermelons. Chen Chen and Ning were covered in goosebumps. The rookies looked at Jiang Nan as if they were looking at a god. Was this AF** King human? What are you holding an anti-material sniper rifle for? How much strength do you have to resist the recoil? Chen-Li swallowed and said in horror, it has to be more than 2,500 meters up. It broke the record. I haven't seen someone like you in the army for so many years. You don't even need a scope. Wind speed, air humidity. Even the longitude and latitude need to be considered. How did you do it? Jiang Nan chuckled. Maybe it's because I have to eat chickens in PUBG. Chen-Li. Pew. Wasn't your excuse too lame? Wang Tai covered his face. Today, he had met a god. In comparison, the 3 consecutive years were nothing in Jiang Nan's eyes. Chapter 97. Let's do it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 97. Let's do it. Seeing Wang Tai staring at him with a red face, Jiang Nan smiled brightly. Do you want to learn? Let me teach you. Wang Tai. This line. Why did it seem like he had heard of it somewhere before? Those veterans finally escaped from their shock state. F***CK. I want to learn. Nan Shen, teach me. This gun technique is already at the level of an immortal. I've never seen such a person in my life. Chen Chen, how can pistols be beaten for nothing in 18 years? Just teach us your ancestral craftsmanship, Nan Shen. Jiang Nan's face darkened. A group of newcomers also came over. Nan Shen. Can you teach us too? I want to learn that press chamber assembly. It's too cool. Su Rui blushed. I want to learn too. Jiang Nan shouted, all right. Then I'll teach you the craft. Chen-Li. So this kid was here to steal my business. From Chen Li's resentment points plus 666, but he had to admit it. Jiang Nan's gun technique even surpassed his own. Where did Bobcat dig up this treasure? He heard that Jiang Nan was still in high school. Jiang Nan strolled with his hands behind his back in the shooting range. The newcomer's face against the sandbags. Jiang Nan used his feet to correct their posture. But when it came to a female comrade like Su Rui, it was different. That was really hand-in-hand guidance. Their face was almost touching. Looking at Jiang Nan's profile, Su Rui's face turned red. She becomes restless. No. Don't let your imagination run wild. He is only 18. He is so much younger than me. Be reserved. Yes, reserved. Male comrade, F***ck. Do you have to treat them so differently? Can you be any more obvious? From Wang Tai's resentment points plus 666. From Lu Xiaofeng's resentment points plus 666. And at this moment, the originally noisy shooting range suddenly became silent. The veterans who were squatting under the parasol instantly got up and lined up in an orderly manner. Jiang Nan was guiding Su Rui. He felt as if his feet were off the ground. He looked up and saw that it was the expressionless Bobcat. A hand lifted him up. It was still that familiar movement. What are you doing? Jiang Nan curled his lips. Teach newcomers to shoot. Smelly Bobcat. Hurry up and let go. I still need some face. Of course, these words were only thought in his heart. Very good. But can you let go of her hand first? Su Rui's face was flushed red. Jiang Nan was lifted up, but he did not let go of her hand. Hand teaching. Only then will it appear professional. Bobcat. This hand really meant it literally. From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 666. She had wanted Jiang Nan to come to train. Grind his temper. But this morning, Jiang Nan actually became an instructor. What kind of godly operation was this? Just now, Bobcat had watched Jiang Nan's shooting from the surveillance in the office. His heart could not calm down for a long time. Although she had heard Ning and Chen Chen talk about it before, she did not expect that Jiang Nan's marksmanship was at this level. Did he not drink Granny Meng's soup in his previous life? If she let Jiang Nan take charge, this newcomer would be led astray. Bobcat looked at the innocent Jiang Nan, blinking his big eyes and feeling a headache coming on. She then placed Jiang Nan on the ground. Be a little more obedient, okay? There was even a touch of negotiation in her tone. Jiang Nan grinned, all right. At this moment, whether it was the veterans, the newcomers, or even the instructor Chen Li, they were all shocked. This was the first time they had seen Bobcat speak like this. Changed personality. What are you looking at? Combat training. Now. Got it. It was all a fantasy. The veterans were all rubbing their hands, their eyes full of excitement. As for the rookies, they had bitter faces. They were going to be abused again. Only Wang Tai had a face full of excitement. The veterans took off their clothes one by one. The recruits were knocked down in less than 2 minutes. Only Wang Tai. He had solid muscles and was as strong as a calf. Using a hug throw, he actually knocked down a veteran. Damn. Old Lu, can you do it? Have you watched too many movies? Damn it. You're so weak. As they spoke, another veteran rushed forward. The two of them assumed a stance and started to fight. Bobcat, you go and train too. Jiang Nan chuckled and said, I don't need to do that, right? Isn't that right, old Chen? Chen Chen's face darkened, and thousands of alpacas galloped in his heart. However, he still couldn't persuade Bobcat. They could only go over and watch the battle. When the group of people saw that their captain had come to watch, they put in even more effort. The atmosphere in the field was warm. Ning looked at the two people fighting in the field and could not help but frown. She whispered, "Why do all men like to take off their shirts in a competition?" Jiang Nan touched his chin, deep in thought. Maybe it's because if all of them take off their pants, the atmosphere will be a little strange. Ning, dot. Bobcat, dot. Su Rui, equals dot, dot. Take off your pants. The three of them were stunned. What kind of reasoning was this? Men take off their shirts in the competition because the atmosphere, if they take off their pants, would be weird. Thinking carefully. It was indeed true. There was nothing wrong with it. However, they kept feeling that something was wrong. Bang! With a muffled sound, the veteran was smashed in the nose by Wang Tai with a swing of his fist. He staggered and fell to the ground. Wang Tai had knocked down 5 veterans in a short while. The moves were in an open manner, like some ancient martial arts. Fuck. This kid is very evil. Instructor Chenli was also quite impressed. The veterans did not dare to go up casually. Wouldn't they lose face for their veteran group if they were knocked down again? Wang Tai wiped away the hot sweat on his forehead. His bronzed skin shone brightly under the sunlight. He said excitedly, "Who else? No one is coming. Chen Chen, you brat, you are so awesome. Nan Shen. Go up and beat him up." "Yes. Nan Shen. Show him some colors. Nan Shen. Nan Shen. Nan Shen." Chen Chen's rhythm, whether a newcomer or a veteran, all joined in. Jiang Nan rolled his eyes. This bastard Chen Chen was waiting for an opportunity to take revenge. He has to teach this kid a lesson. Wang Tai's gaze also fell on Jiang Nan. He had never been afraid of anyone in close combat. Moreover, he had learned the ancient martial art Hong Fist. Jiang Nan's gun technique was godly, but Wang Tai did not believe that Jiang Nan would be stronger than him in close combat. "How is it? Do you want to do it?" Jiang Nan grinned, F***ck. "Let's do it." Then, under everyone's astonished gazes, Jiang Nan began to undo his belt. All eyes were drawn to him. Even Wang Tai was terrified. He couldn't help but take 2 steps back. What? What are you going to do?" The veteran and newcomer were all dumbfounded. Bobcat's face was slightly red. She grabbed Jiang Nan's arm and glared at him, "You are competing. Why are you taking off your pants?" Ning was also stunned. Only Su Rui looked at Jiang Nan with a little excitement and then at Wang Tai. The soul of a Fujoshi was burning fiercely. TL notes. Fujoshi denoting how a woman who enjoys fictional gay content. Jiang Nan, they took off their shirts during the competition, and their momentum soared. "I want to give it a try. Will there be a buff for the competition if I take off my pants?" Bobcat, dot. Ning, dot. F***ck. If they really let Jiang Nan take it off, he would really become the first person to take off his pants and compete in the past 5,000 years in China. They don't know if there really will be a buff. But it will definitely be very eye-catching. Chapter 98. This Girl Beats Me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 666. From Ning's resentment points plus 333. From Su Rui's resentment points plus 333. From N. His belt had not been untied for nothing. However, under Bobcat's murderous gaze, he was still unable to take it off. But he took off his shirt. It revealed a well-proportioned but not bloated muscle. The edges and corners were clearly carved like knives and axes. Under the sunlight, Jiang Nan looked fresh and handsome, and there was always a faint smile hanging on the corners of his mouth. It made the hearts of the young girls in the field accelerate. Jiang Nan slowly walked into the arena. He stood there in an extremely relaxed manner and said indifferently, "Come. Attack me." Wang Tai's expression was solemn, and his eyes revealed a sharp light. Jiang Nan just stood there casually and didn't even raise his fist. However, he still couldn't find any flaws. This made Wang Tai feel a suffocating sense of oppression. But he couldn't care too much. He took a step forward and attacked. Wang Tai's fist was like a cannonball as it smashed over, and it even caused the sound of air being torn apart. Even if the fist was about to hit his face, Jiang Nan didn't dodge. Everyone's heart was raised. Could it be that Nan Shen was just a flower handle? Scared silly. But at this moment, Jiang Nan moved. He lifted one foot and kicked Wang Tai's bent knee. Wang Tai had lost his center of gravity. The fist brushed past Jiang Nan's cheek. His body leaned forward and almost fell. In his shock, he saw Jiang Nan's fist. It was like a flood dragon breaking through the sea. Fast. Precise. Ruthless. Bang. With a muffled sound, the fist hit Wang Tai's stomach. The huge force caused Wang Tai's entire body to leave the ground. He bowed like a prawn. He knelt on the ground and covered his stomach and his eyes wide open. He struggled a few times but was unable to get up. At this moment, everyone was silent. Su Rui opened her mouth wide and looked at Jiang Nan in disbelief. Everyone knew how powerful Wang Tai was. But Jiang Nan only used one kick and one punch. And in the eyes of everyone, Wang Tai, who had lost his balance, seemed more like he had bumped into Jiang Nan's fist. How was this possible? Instructor Chen Li's eyes lit up. This punch and kick were smoothly executed. Wang Tai couldn't test Jiang Nan's strength at all. Just how strong was this youth? He wanted to see it. All of you, attack. Those who take down Jiang Nan will be free of 3 days of physical training. When these words came out, whether it was the veterans or the newcomers, their eyes turned red in an instant. One by one, they rushed over like a fierce tiger leaving its cage. F***ck him. There are so many of us, we can't defeat Nan Shen, right? If Nan Shen doesn't fall today, don't say that we are from the Night Legion army in the future. Jiang Nan. Damn it. Old man. Spit out my watermelon. It was not funny, alright. When Jiang Nan decided to run. Bobcat, Xiao Rui. Release your domain. Jiang Nan exploded. F***ck. Why did it feel like Bobcat had invited this girl to the Night Legion army to deal with him? Let me tell you. You can't beat me. The veterans were angry. Damn you. Are you floating, or I can't hold the knife? If I can't beat you, I'll do a handstand. I'll teach you how to be a human. Look at me. Ouch. Before the old veteran could finish speaking, he was struck by Jiang Nan with a fist swing. His eyes rolled over, and he lay straight on the ground. They saw Jiang Nan, who was bare-chested, flying in the crowd. His eyes were filled with excitement. Then he punched everyone. The veterans thought that Jiang Nan would face a situation where 2 fists could not defeat 4 hands. But in reality, Jiang Nan, who had erupted, was like a moving volcano. His fist was extremely heavy, and it felt like they had been hit by a truck. His movement technique was terrifying, and his battle technique was even more astonishing. Grappling, mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, his style was ever-changing. They couldn't even budge Jiang Nan. Even though their fist landed on Jiang Nan's body, it felt like they had punched a steel plate. It shook their hands so much that it hurt. To be able to withstand the Mercedes-Benz's attack and fly more than 30 meters away without any damage to his body. How could he be knocked down with 1 or 2 punches? 15 minutes later, there was a pile of people lying on the ground. Jiang Nan leaned on his thigh and gasped for breath. Sparkling beads of sweat dripped down his chin, and his whole body seemed to have been fished out of the water. The brother who would do a handstand, do it now. Chen Chen cried, Nan Shen. I was King wrong. Chen Li couldn't sit still anymore. 15 minutes to defeat 70 Night Legion army. He even had the strength to joke around. What kind of terrifying battle technique was this? China War God. He had been in the army for so many years, but he had never seen such a young and fierce person. Su Rui was already stunned. She finally knew why Bobcat wanted to capture Jiang Nan and bring him back personally. Otherwise, no one would be able to take care of Jiang Nan. There was already a bit of worship in her eyes. Strong. Simply strong to the point of exploding. Just at this moment, Bobcat stuck out her scarlet tongue and licked her lips. Her eyes were filled with excitement. She took off her military uniform and tied her ponytail tightly. Luo Tianhong, who was wearing a tactical vest, had distinct muscles. Her 8 abdominal muscles and her terrifying height of 1.9 meters made her more oppressive than ordinary men. Beat me. You don't have to participate in any training in the future. Once this was said, everyone who was lying on the ground quickly got up. Their eyes were filled with excitement. Captain Bobcat wanted to make a move. Luo Tianhong. A name that could make even Night Legion army tremble. Even in the Dragon Abyss army of China, there was a rumor. This was enough to see how powerful and terrifying she was. They couldn't help but look at Jiang Nan with pity in their eyes. Nan Shen was probably going to be beaten up today. Jiang Nan also shuddered. No one knew better than him how terrifying Bobcat was. She was going to fight with him. Really? You are not allowed to use your ability. What is the condition of winning? When Jiang Nan said this, everyone was stunned. Jiang Nan probably didn't know why the flowers were so red. Bobcat twisted her neck and said, until one person admitted defeat. Bang! Along with a violent sound, the hard earth stone ground was stepped into a pit by Jiang Nan. His body was shot out like an arrow. His speed was so fast that it was almost blurry. Everyone was scared, silly. He actually made a move. And it was at the moment when Bobcat's voice just fell. Flying kick. Bang! The shoe heavily kicked Bobcat's lower jaw. What was frightening was that Bobcat only slightly tilted her head. At this moment, her hands had already grabbed onto Jiang Nan's legs. She grabbed his entire leg, and like throwing a sandbag, he fiercely fell to the ground. The wind howled in his ears, and Jiang Nan used his hands to support himself on the ground, neutralizing the damage. Then, he bent his waist forward, and with a huge centrifugal force behind him, his elbow ruthlessly smashed into Bobcat's temple. But at the same time, Bobcat's knee was like an ice-breaking giant axe. Bang! Jiang Nan's body was sent flying more than 5 meters. Ouch! It hurts. Bobcat raised her fist and jumped. Her eyes were filled with excitement. It had been a very, very long time since someone had made her this excited. Jiang Nan. You were simply too awesome. Chapter 99. Mua. Mua. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bobcat felt as if her entire body was filled with fighting spirit. Her blood was boiling. She was even trembling in excitement. This feeling was something that Bobcat had not felt in a long time. Jiang Nan rubbed his stomach and shrunk his neck as he looked at Bobcat. F***ck. This humanoid Tyrannosaurus had awakened. It was a little terrifying. Jiang Nan could feel that even if she didn't use her ability, Bobcat's physical fitness was also terrifyingly strong. It even surpassed his own. Because of vigorous potion strengthening, he had such strong physical fitness. How about Bobcat? Purely trained. How much hard work did he have to put in? There was no time for Jiang Nan to think because Bobcat had already sent a heavy punch over. Jiang Nan also waved his fist and attacked. Bang! 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 Just like that, the two of them charged at each other. The fist hit the flesh. The crisp sound of the fist hitting flesh was enough to make one's blood boil. Every move was a hidden killing move. Every second was thrilling. No one in the field spoke and was completely immersed in the fight between the two people. They were reluctant to look away. And Ning, instructor. How is it? Is there a chance for Jiang Nan? Su Rui also listened attentively from the side. Chenli had a serious expression and said, Luo girl is getting serious. No one can take it. Jiang Nan's physical fitness is below her. Even if she doesn't use her ability, Luo girl's physical fitness is at gold rank. In addition to the many years of combat training, I'm afraid that Jiang Nan won't be enough. Chenli didn't say much. Even if Jiang Nan lost, he would be terrifying enough. One had to know that he was only bronze rank. His physical fitness could even be compared to Bobcat, who was at the pinnacle of gold rank. Did this kid grow up eating bricks? At this moment, Jiang Nan was in danger. Bobcat appears behind Jiang Nan. Then she did a chokehold, and then Jiang Nan rolled his eyes. The veterans, ... It's over. The captain did a chokehold. Once this move is formed, there is no solution. Nan Shen is also awesome. He has been fighting with the captain for so long. The captain is serious. Her eyes are trembling. But at this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. They saw Jiang Nan's big eyes rolling around. He stuck out his tongue and licked at Bobcat's white and tender arm that was grabbing his neck. Bobcat felt a warm and wet sensation on her arm. When she looked down, she was dumbfounded. Jiang Nan, you actually licked my arm. Ah! What are you doing? From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 1000. She subconsciously loosened her grip. Hee hee. Have a taste of it. Only a fool would fight Bobcat head on. Wasn't that courting death? Jiang Nan knew his strength. He couldn't win, but who said he would lose if he couldn't win? He had his own clever plan. Everyone was dumbfounded. Licking the arm. Look at what you're doing. Was this what a human would do? Only Su Rui covered her face. This time, Bobcat also tasted the horror of that night. He raised his head and broke free from Bobcat's bindings using this opportunity. Just as he was about to turn over. However, Bobcat pressed Jiang Nan under her and sat on him with a face full of shame and anger. Jiang Nan's face was full of horror. This was how the Earth Bear died. It could be imagined that Bobcat's fist would fall like rain in the next moment. The moment Bobcat smashed her fist down, Jiang Nan raised his hand and grabbed it. His hand clenched tightly. Bobcat stared, then her other fist smashed again. Jiang Nan received it again, his hand clenched it tightly. He then shouted, "Look at my divine skill." Jiang Nan fiercely pushed his hands outwards as their hands were tightly clasped together. Bobcat's arm was also involuntarily stretched out by Jiang Nan. This caused Bobcat's upper body to lose support completely. Then she was pulled by Jiang Nan into his embrace. Bobcat's face was full of horror. Because in her line of sight, Jiang Nan's face was rapidly enlarging. And Jiang Nan even pouted his mouth. They were about to kiss. Mua. At the last moment, Bobcat subconsciously turned her head. However, she was still kissed on the cheek by Jiang Nan. Wow. It was warm. It was great. The field fell into a dead silence. Did he just kiss our captain? Or did he do it on purpose? This. What kind of godly operation was this? Divine skill. It's AF * King divine skill. Ah. I'll kill you. Bobcat's face was as red, and she completely panicked. She struggled with all her might. However, both her hands were restrained by Jiang Nan. Jiang Nan's legs suppressed even her legs. Don't be shy. Come. One more. Mua, Jiang Nan pouted and tried his best to move forward. Meanwhile, Bobcat kept dodging backward. From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 1,000. No matter what she did, she could not struggle free. If this continued, her other face would probably not be able to escape this calamity. Finally. All right. I admit defeat. Boom. The aura of a peak gold rank expert burst forth. The terrifying shockwave instantly caused dust to fly everywhere. Jiang Nan's entire body was embedded in the ground. Bobcat hurriedly got up and wiped her face with her hand. Her face was still red. Her eyes were also a little red. Do you see that? Sometimes, strength is not the only criterion for winning or losing. However, you are not allowed to learn from him. Humph. Shameless. Bobcat stomped her feet in anger and glared fiercely at Jiang Nan. Then she hurries up and leaves. Everyone was dumbfounded. That captain, who was usually as cold as an iceberg, had actually revealed such a girly attitude. Her face was red. Jiang Nan felt guilty for a while. As the saying goes, how bold people were, how prolific the land was. What? Do you say you won? There was no need to participate in training. But this was no different from touching a tiger's butt. Bobcat won't get angry, right? At night, she would beat himself up, kill, and dump his corpses, right? Humph. So be it. After all, he had already kissed her. But when he thought of Bobcat's slightly red eyes, he couldn't help but laugh. Jiang Nan would not regret bullying her again. Chen Chen's eyes lit up, damn. Nan Shen is awesome. I want to learn your divine skill. I want to learn it too. Chen Li, sigh. As the saying goes, if the water is clear, there will be no fish, and if the person is too cheap, he will be invincible. Jiang Nan, This old man. If you don't know how to use slang, don't use it, okay? Who were you calling cheap? You want to learn. I'm afraid you don't have this talent. Why? Everyone was stunned. Heh. Once this forbidden technique is used. If it isn't as handsome as I am, it will only make you die faster. If you are old, you might even be caught and sued for molestation. Chen. Chen Li. F * CK. Was this a different way of scolding us for being ugly? So what if you're handsome? From Chen Li's resentment points plus 1,000. From Chen Chen's resentment points plus 1,000. From. Why are you guys leaving? Anyway, can you help me out of the ground first? Pooey. Shameless. Humph, shameless. Get out by yourself. Jiang Nan. Chapter 100. Brothers. I advise you to surrender yourself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a day of hard training, they returned to the dormitory. Wang Tai was a man and followed the bet. Fetch Jiang Nan water and prepare his bed. Jiang Nan laughed happily. He liked this kid a little. He was frank and straightforward, and he would do it if he promised it. Jiang Nan admired this veteran who silently guarded China and always rushed to the front. Spiritual energy had been revived for 20 years. The reason why China was stable and healthy was precisely that this group of people silently paid for it. For the sake of the people, they carried heavy burdens and moved forward. Now, had he also become one of them? Until now, Jiang Nan still didn't feel anything. After turning off the lights at 10 o'clock, there was a strong wind and waves in the dormitory. The sound of teeth grinding, the sound of a fart, the sound of snoring, and sleep talking. The most frightening thing was that they could even talk in their sleep. At night, Jiang Nan's two big eyes were wide open. His mentality collapsed. F***ck, from Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 111. From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 111. Damn it. It was still refreshing. It was refreshing for the entire afternoon. Wasn't it just Mua? Was there a need to be so angry? From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 1000. Jiang Nan, Lying on the bed, he couldn't help but shiver. This. She would not really kill him, right? Jiang Nan, who was lying on the bed tossing and turning, couldn't hold it in any longer. He teleported and disappeared. At the same time, outside Bobcat's office, Jiang Nan gently pushed open the door and found that she was resting on her desk. Only then did he feel relieved and teleported into the office. Under the moonlight, Bobcat lay on the table and slept deeply. Her beautiful face was no longer as cold as before. Instead, it was a little gentler. From Luo Tianhong's resentment points plus 111. Jiang Nan, You won't let me go even in your dreams. What was she dreaming about? The messy documents were placed on the desk, and she had used a red pen to mark them. She was very serious. Suddenly, Jiang Nan felt a little sorry for her. What was the heart of this valiant woman? Jiang Nan casually took out something. A piece of golden age beauty pill was in his hand. The Jiang Nan stuffed it into Bobcat's hand. Then, he picked up a pen and started writing wildly on the white paper. He chuckled. Then, he gently covered her with his military coat. He teleported and disappeared without a trace. 3 minutes later, Luo Tianhong slowly opened her eyes. Looking at the white rabbit candy in her hand, she was lost in thought for a long time. Then she saw the words left on the paper by Jiang Nan. I'm sorry. I'll give you a candy to eat. Don't be angry anymore. Pay attention to rest. Don't sleep in the office in the future. Smile more. You look good when you smile.